We often think of physical sensations, tightness in the chest, stomachache, lingering cough, as things that need to be fixed. But what if they aren't just symptoms? What if there's an underlying message? I was reminded of this today in my podcast interview. As usual, I was asked about the origins of my work, how I started teaching swimming and why I'm doing swimming. And I shared a story that I've told many times. This is a story of how I never finished swimming lessons as a child. And it's ironic given that I'm a swim teacher. But here's what's interesting. I never quit because I was afraid of water. I quit because I didn't trust the teacher. Now, here's the interesting thing about that. How my body protected me from this lack of trust in this situation. I remember going to swimming lessons and the teacher would say, swim out to me. And I'd say, okay, but don't back up. But they always backed up. Oh my gosh, and as I'm telling you the story, I can feel my body reacting. Every time something inside of me knew this isn't safe. I couldn't put the feelings into words at the time. I didn't have the vocabulary as a child to say, I don't trust the situation. I don't feel safe. But my body knew. So what did it do? It got me out of there. I started getting ear infections. I had stomachache. My body created real physical conditions that kept me from having to go back to swimming lessons. And I don't think I'm alone in this. How often do we ignore what our body is telling us because we don't have the words to explain why something doesn't feel right? Now, here's what's even more fascinating. It happened as I'm telling you this story. It happened as I was on the podcast. How my body acted to protect me as a child got me to start coughing uncontrollably today, even as an adult, remembering that situation. I cough. And there's no medical reason for it at the moment, but I was tapping into something deep, a memory that lives inside my body, and my body reacted. Not reacted in the past, because we can't travel to the past, but it reacts in real time right now. I still live this experience with this persistent cough that has no medical explanation. It has to do with the way we emotionally process memories or anticipation, our thoughts. Learning to listen to our body is really important. I'm sharing this because it's not just important for me to remember how this cough gets triggered by other things, but also for you. This is the exact kind of work that we do in the water. We don't force the body to do something that it's resisting. Instead, we listen to the body, to what it's telling us and how we can work with it. As a child, I couldn't say, I don't trust my teacher, but my body said it for me. And even now as an adult, I could tell myself to just get over it. But I also know that true healing comes from listening, really listening to what my body needs. So let me ask you, where do you feel resistance in your body when you're faced with a challenge? When you feel that pit in your stomach or tightness in your throat or tension in your shoulders, what do you do with it? Do you push through? Do you ignore it? Or do you allow yourself to pause and get curious? Maybe you need more space to explore this, somewhere safe to listen to your body without judgment. This space could be on a retreat, this space could be a quiet moment in your home, or it could be in an activity like swimming or dancing, playing an instrument, cold water immersion. These are ways and places that I play with, not just learning the activity, but how to tune into my body in a healing and curious and loving way. I've even used this to change how I approach going to the doctor, which I avoided for a really long time. That's a whole other story. But instead of pushing myself through, I've learned how to listen and tune in so that I can go to the doctor and actually make eye contact and talk like a normal human being there. even though my past self completely flipping out. If you want some help with this, you're curious about this, grab the Somatic Guide. This is a guide that I put together for you to help you get started with things, out of the water in your own private space. Begin this journey of listening and healing right now. Aloha.